after that, I got arrested. I got arrested for something that they said that I did, and I didn't do it.
My woman, there is no way that she's been with someone else. When people tell me, don't you want her experience?
No. I'd rather her ask me what the teach me what to do.
I'd rather we teach her, or not we, excuse me.
Yeah,
I teach her. Ready?
This guy, King Azoulay, thinks he is something that he is not. He is a YouTuber. He does have a few 100,000 subscribers, but that is the only truth, in my opinion, in anything he has to say. He's a Kung Fu panda. He was taught Kung Fu in the back of a Chinese restaurant.
Eventually, the owner fell in love with me, and he said, that kid is special. And I would come to him. He would move all of the tables, and he would teach me Kung Fu. And I was 10 years old. It was different.
When he was younger, he was jumped by 30 guys. So therefore, he went out and bought a weapon that fires a bullet. And then nobody came near him ever again. He was also a bodyguard when he was 15 years old for a mob boss. You know, what other lies can this guy tell? But he has a big secret that has just been exposed. And to begin with, he even lied about that. He said he was not guilty.
And after that, I got arrested. I got arrested for something that they said that I did, and I didn't do it.
And then when he was called out by some huge YouTubers who we are going to hear from in this video, then he made another video admitting that he did commit this heinous crime. And the thing I really don't understand is, why is this guy still not in prison? That is the bit that baffles me. Now you've got to this point in the video, I am going to put in a trigger warning. This is going to be a disturbing video which talks about topics involving a 15-year-old girl. So if this is going to upset you or give you nightmares, then please switch off now. Now we're going to hear from a YouTuber who I admire greatly, John Bravo. And he is the one that discovered all of this in the first place, I believe.
I uncovered something that I wish I never saw, because it's so dirty and evil and unbelievable, and something that I didn't think is possible for a human being to do to another person.
Before we get further into this, I just want to say that this King Azoulay believes all of his bullshit. He thinks he is this fantastic person, and he is supposed to have made $150 million from the patent. I mean, whether that's delusion or not, who knows? But one thing I can tell you is Azoulay made a 27-minute video, and he does not take accountability for what happened in any way, shape or form in this video, and it is absolutely disgusting. We are going to hear from Mr. Bravo again, because he is going to show us some court documents, which is the evidence that he brought to light about this whole heinous, disgusting event that took place when this girl was only 15.
In this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you what I have went through as a young man when I was 18 years old. I'm an 18-year-old, and a girl that is under 18 went down on me. That was the only 18-year-old. Although she said she was a freshman in college.
Just because she tells you she's a freshman in college that doesn't mean you have the right to do what you did. And not knowing her real age is not a reason to not be convicted, because you've just said at the beginning that she was under 18. So, therefore, regardless of what happened, she was not old enough to consent. Now, you said only one action occurred, but the court documents say something completely different. Now we're going to hear from John Bravo again, and he is going to explain what he found in the court documents. And I must strenuously say that there is a trigger warning from this point onwards, because this content is deeply traumatic and upsetting.
He went to a party with his brother and a bunch of his other friends. They see a girl there, 15 years old, a cheerleader, beautiful girl from high school. The party, they're all there having a good time. Him and his brother and the other friend and a few other people tell the girl, hey, come back to the party at my parents' house. We'll stop by the liquor store. We'll get some liquor. We have fake IDs. We'll have fun. We'll party. So the girl listens. She goes. She's naive. And I don't think she ever expected to happen what happened. Ben, King Azoulay, his brother, Dylan, and another kid. They're all Israeli, so I guess they're very close. They all took turns taking advantage of her. I have to be careful with what I say here. In every which way possible. I'm talking from behind, the mouth. It's really bad and it's really hard to say, but they all took turns on her. She was a 15-year-old virgin. Very, very sad story. I'm gonna show you guys here some of the documentation, but I have to be very careful in how I show this on YouTube. This is a lawsuit by a young woman stemming from a brutal R and S assault committed against her by defendants Ben Azoulay, Dylan Azoulay, both of them are brothers, and Mayor Vareed, who was their friend, on July 13, 2008, at the home of defendants David and Rachel Azoulay, which are his parents. At the time, H, which I had to shorten her name because I do not want her identity revealed. At the time, H was only 15 years old and a virgin. H has suffered and continues to suffer extreme physical and emotional damages as alleged herein. At the party in Sherman Oaks, H, Catherine, and Paulina met defendants Ben and Dylan Azoulay, who are brothers. Dylan convinced H, Catherine, and Paulina to come to what he described as a party at his parents' house at Buffalo Avenue in Sherman Oaks, and Ben drove them there. So they were at a party initially, and then he convinced them all to go to his house. A highly intoxicated H is repeatedly and forcibly R'd by at least 3 of the defendants, while the others stand by and watch. H was forcibly dragged into a bedroom by Ben, who stripped of her clothes, forced her to perform OS on him, and then oral blank on her against her will. Ben then proceeded to brutally force himself upon H, beating her and R'd her against her will. Other boys, including Dylan and Mayer, watched while this was going on, but made no effort to stop Ben. In fact, each time she attempted to escape, she was pulled back into the room and subjected to further S assault. After Ben had finished ravaging H, he passed her to his brother Dylan, who dragged her from Ben's room to Dylan's room. While R'ing her, he bit her on the neck and Dylan and Ben then flipped H onto her stomach, face down, and she was again R'd from behind by both. During the R, one or more of the boys had sex with her. After being repeatedly R'd by Ben and Dylan inside the house, Ben and Dylan moved H to a couch in the backyard. Ben and Dylan watched, but did nothing to stop Mayer. Defendants Rachel and David Azoulay came home to find a party of at least 8 teenagers drinking and smoking marijuana, but did nothing to intervene. Rachel Azoulay watched Mayer take H, who she knew to be drunk and underage, out of the backyard through a side door and did nothing to stop them. Ben, Dylan, and Mayer were subsequently arrested and interviewed by the police. Ben and Dylan also informed the police that they had watched Mayer RH. Ben was prosecuted as an adult. Dylan and Mayer were both charged as minors. Ben admitted his guilt in open court and was convicted on the charge of violating Penal Code Section 288, blank with a minor. Dylan also admitted his guilt and was convicted in a juvenile proceeding on a charge of violating Penal Code Section 261, R of an intoxicated unconscious person.
Well, that certainly reads totally differently to what the piece of shit had to say, doesn't it? So let's continue on with what he has got to say in his video, because I just feel too traumatized to say anything more about what happened to this poor young girl. She must have been so traumatized, and I can imagine that even all of these years later, that she probably still is. And it's absolutely abhorrent. How do these people get away with it? That's the bit I cannot fathom.
All of it will be expunged off of his record. He'll spend 30 days in jail to make it seem like it's a lot. And you'll be done with it. And I guess later on we found out that she was a troubled child. So this wasn't the first time, but this time they were after big money. Big money. I mean, $50 million.
You found out that she was a troubled child, so that gives you the right to do what you did, does it? You are a PDF file and a vile piece of dog shit.
I'll tell them to remove the $50 million lawsuit, because what they need is real justice. Almost every big actor, celebrity, politician, influencer, you name it, they have came out and said things about them. Because it is so easy to say something about a man and then come back with a big lawsuit.
How can you tell a judge to remove the lawsuit? And what you're saying actually doesn't make sense, because a case against you for rape and sexual assault wouldn't be held in the same court as a lawsuit. They would be in totally different courts with totally different judges. So what you're saying makes no sense to me whatsoever, and proves to me that you are just a liar.
So he comes to me and tells me about the deal. And I say, but they will remove the lawsuit, the $50 million lawsuit, off of my parents and everybody. He says, listen, son, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. Be sure you're being the hero here. You're saving and protecting your whole family. This will be completely off your record after, and all you'll do is lousy 30 days in jail. Not prison, jail.
Please explain to me what the difference is between prison and jail. Where I come from, people go to prison. In other countries, they go to jail. It still means that you are incarcerated. You are still not at liberty. You are not free, whether you call it a prison or a jail.
I didn't trust women who drink. If they see the life that I have, I felt like a lawsuit will come right after that. I made sure not to party anymore. No more party. No more friends coming over my house. Of course I dated women, but only the best.
You don't deserve the life that you have now. You should be rotting behind bars for the actions that you committed, that you actually pleaded guilty to. So why are you out? And you should also be banned from YouTube and every other social media platform. I really hope this video and all of the others that have been made get shared far and wide, so that your followers all abandon you the way they should do. Thank you for watching. I know it was a hard watch. If you have appreciated the fact that I've brought you the video, please hit the like button. turn on the notification bell, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye for now.